Okay, it's my mother's birthday weekend. Everybody say happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday, Mother! I think it's another level or version or shade of her 39th, which is beautiful to see. Happy birthday to my mother. It's her birthday weekend, Sunday the 25th. Welcome into the Parker and the Man page at yournews.com right there. Mark Wilson with your webcam for this 23rd of April 2010. Here we are. We're already at the end of April, coming down the home stretch. And tonight will be day 2 of the 3-day NFL draft. And as you may know by now, the Detroit Lions, without any fanfare, did the right thing and took Ndamukong Suh from Nebraska, the defensive tackle. 6'3", 6'4", actually, 307 pounds. The guy is terrific. He's tremendous. I've loved him since 2 years ago. And they did the right thing. They didn't screw it up. Martin Mayhew didn't try to do something crazy, trade the pick, go for Trent Williams, Gerald McCoy, which isn't terrible. I'm not saying that those guys won't be stars in the NFL. In fact, judging by the Lions' history, and I got some of the history right here, they do screw it up a lot. How about 08 when they took Ousted Chairless, who's still there, but yet to be seen. And they could have had Chris Johnson or Joe Flacco. Johnson only gained 2,000 yards rushing this year. 05, Mike Williams over DeMarcus Ware and Aaron Rodgers. 03, Charles Rodgers over Andre Johnson or Kevin Williams. A couple of All-Pros there. 02, Joey Harrington over Quentin Jammer or Dwight Freeney. 01, Jeff Backus, who's still on the Lions' offensive line. Never made it a Pro Bowl, but whatever. Over Casey Hampton or Nate Clements. 2000, Stocker McDougal over Chris Hovan. 99, Chris Claiborne over Dante Culpepper, which would have been a better Culpepper than the Culpepper that was here last couple of years. Or Javon Curse. 98, Terry Fair over Randy Moss. 97, Brian Westbrook over Walter Jones or Tony Gonzalez. Only 2 guys probably going to the Hall of Fame. And in 96, Reggie Brown. Of course, we'll never know how good Reggie was because of the injury over Marvin Harrison and Ray Lewis. So we've seen him screwed up in the past ever since Ron Hughes kind of booked as the Lions draft guru to Pittsburgh. And even sometime towards the end of the Hughes era. But Ndamukong Suh's the real deal. He is the real thing. He's the real deal Holyfield. And I really dig in this pick. I think he will anchor the Lions' defensive line for a long time to come. And then the surprise came with the 30th pick in the first round, the Minnesota Vikings. What are you doing, trading in your division? And I said in the piece today, maybe the Vikings don't consider the Lions in the division. But trading the 30th pick so the Lions could take Jahvid Best, the running back out of California, who before his concussion was probably ranked as one of the top 2 running backs in the country. C.J. Spiller, Ryan Matthews, of course, were both taken ahead of him in the first round last night in New York in the pomp and circumstance red-carpeted first round of the NFL draft, primetime draft for the first time. Radio City Music Hall, New York. But, Jahvid Best, they need a running back. And I think this was a good move with Kevin Smith's future up in the air with the Achilles surgery. And, we're not seeing what we got out of Maurice Morris and, Aaron Brown. So the Lions and Jim Schwartz and Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, said, let's go for the running back. And best is best. So Bernie Fratto, our radio buddy, who's now out in Vegas, Bernie moved out to Las Vegas, watching the draft, calls me up and says, has anybody considered the headline? Should this thing really go great? This Lions thing happen one of these years with Ndamukong Suh? Because you could call it the Super Bowl. Huh? The Suh. S-U-H Bowl. It's Super. S-U-H-P-E-R Bowl. That's what it would be called if the Lions get there on the big shoulders of Ndamukong Suh. What a good kid. I mean, he's already given over about $3 million to his university. That's what he'll do with his first monies, his guaranteed cheese. That should range in the $20-plus, $30-plus million. Being the number 2 pick in the draft behind Sam Bradford. Bradford, of course, going first to St. Louis, the quarterback out of Oklahoma. And then Gerald McCoy went after Suh, and then Trent Williams. So it was an all Big 12 top 4. Like American Idol. This is the NFL draft with the guys from the Big 12. And then 2 picks later, Oklahoma State player went. So we had 5 in the first 6 picks from the Big 12 in the NFL draft. So check out the piece on Suh and Best and what the Lions did there and their history in these draft picks in the first round. But I really, I'll give a touch of an applause to Martin Mayhew for just not messing it up. Although I still believe they could have gotten Jahvid Best, probably, because there was only 3 picks up from their second-round choice. Probably could have gotten him there. I'm not really sure why they wanted to make that move, because nobody behind him Indianapolis, New Orleans weren't going to pick running backs, I don't believe. And then, I guess New Orleans could have. Who knows? And then certainly St. Louis with Steven Jackson wasn't going to do that. Other draft stuff is on the piece as well. Tim Tebow going to the Broncos in the first round. A mild surprise, I guess, with Tebow because a lot thought maybe he'd go second round. Maybe Jimmy Clausen would be the next quarterback pick, but it was Tebow. I guess Denver and Josh McDaniels liked his winning attitude. He's changed his mechanics, and I think he's a better quarterback. And Michigan's Brandon Graham, who at one point a couple of years ago was thought to be maybe the number 1 pick or 2 pick in this draft in 2010 when he came out. But Graham goes number 13, which isn't bad, overall to the Philadelphia Eagles. So Ernie Sims has a buddy. Ernie Sims, who was traded from the Lions to the Eagles, now has a buddy from Michigan and Brandon Graham. MSU spring game is Saturday. It's 1:30. Everything's free. You can go for free. You can park for free. You can go see the game, see the thing. It'll be maybe a cleansing of sorts for Mark D'Antonio and the Spartan football team after a horrible winter in which the 14 players, or I guess that was the final tally, 15 guys were arrested from that on-campus brawl after the awards night. The NCAA is looks like they're adding 3 teams to March Madness. It'll be 68 teams. So we're not going to get the 80 or 96 yet. Why 3 teams is important, I don't know. CBS and Turner made a new deal for over $10 billion, that's with a B, $billion, to keep showing those tournament games. It's such a huge cash cow, as you all know. But they're going to add 3. So now the field of 64, which became 65, now becomes 68. That will happen. Justin Verlander got his first win in Anaheim last night. Another 1-run victory for the Tigers, 5-4. The bullpen's been terrific. That's why they're 9-7. They get a split with the Angels. Now they head to Texas for 4 games starting tonight. Brewers 20, Pirates nothing. If you didn't see that score yesterday, 20-0. Milwaukee over Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. Read a little bit about that. Wings game 5 tonight in Glendale, Arizona. 2-2 with the Phoenix Coyotes. But the big news, the New Jersey Devils ousted by the Flyers at New Jersey. They booed their own fans in Newark. That new arena has not been kind to Martin Brodeur and the New Jersey Devils, who are out in 5 games. And Philadelphia moves on around to just, they move to Newark and all goes to hell. Isn't that the way Newark is perceived? I suppose it is. So there it is. Check it all out, baby. What a great weekend, huh? Got 2 more days of the draft coming up. The piece on Sue and Best, the Lions picks in the first round. As it turns out, they get 2 of them. Their draft stuff, spring game from Michigan State at Spartan Stadium on Saturday. The March Madness thing, Justin Verlander. Brewers 20, Pirates nothing. And some hockey stuff as well with the playoffs well underway in the Stanley Cup. There you go. Parker Demand page, yournews.com. Mark Wilson on the webcam. Have a great weekend. Happy birthday, Mother.